Welcome to Japari Park.
Yeah. No, that's good. Let's keep
Kemono Friends.
Episode 30.
We did it. I finally did it.
So this was supposed to be trash week, Mitch. What the fuck?
What?
This was supposed to be garbage week. What did you do?
I accidentally did something good.
Mitch.
To be fair, the first episode of this was like not good. I'm not gonna lie.
I actually liked this. What the fuck?
I kind of loved this actually.
I know. What the hell?
It was really good. The first episode is horrible.
Oh yeah. No, the first episode is rough.
I think the main reason why I hate the first episode is the animation, because
the models are so stiff.
For some
the
reason,
environments are like 2D, so the 3D characters look weird against them.
No. The reason why I hate the first episode is exclusively because of the scene where Serval is chasing Kaban, and they show her on a 2D background trying to move in 3D, and it looks
terrible.
It looks horrible. It is.
I can explain a little bit. Usually when you do 3D on 2D, that is the thing that people do. The original Resident Evil games did that, up to like 3. Usually you start out with the 2D models on your actual 3D plane before you render it, but this is doing a thing where it's hand-drawn backgrounds for all the 2D stuff. If they wanted to do it right, I think they should have done a very basic representation of their 3D environment and then taken it out last second for their 2D backgrounds. But I think this was done with very, very low skill, which kind of makes it impressive in its own right. And I think over time, the show does realize its shortcomings. You notice, like, a lot of the times they will have characters walking, and their the camera will be just below the ankle, just above the ankles, stuff like that. They realize what they should and shouldn't do with what they had, with whatever budget or whatever skill they had. So I can commend that.
With 3D, and you can't do 3D like 2D.
Yeah, you have to do some tricks. It can be done. Like, the original Resident Evil games do it really well. But those are video games and not a movie or a show, so quite different.
Also, in the first episode, there's the scene where Serval is pointing out other animals living in the savannah, and there are just frozen models.
Yeah, jeez, it was real rough.
And it's just like, oh my god.
I'm kind of interested in the development of this show.
Because, like, Crunchyroll co-financed.
Kemono Friends. Here's the history. So there was this relatively small passion project mobile game in 2015, published by Nexon, who you know as Maple Story.
Oh wow!
Okay.
Really?
Anyway, they published it briefly. It didn't do very well, and it got shut down pretty quick. And then they wanted to continue it. I believe the director was the head creative lead. He was very involved. He wanted to do an anime, and no one would finance them, so Crunchyroll helped them out. Very, very amateur situation. Very, very small deal, you know. But it ended up doing incredibly well.
Yeah.
Financially,
I knew this show had like a fandom to it. Now he's like, because only ever previously having experienced the first episode, I was just like, why is this ironic? Why do people like this?
But yeah, it did insanely well. Got a huge fandom. A really big deal. The country of Japan loved it because it helped the zoos a lot.
Yes,
which is cool. It's, in my opinion, actually a really good kids show.
It is.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is a lot more than you could say for shows with quadruple its budget.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, they Kojima'd it. So.
Yeah, they.
We'll get to talking about.
Or they Konami'd it rather. Kojima didn't choose to have that happen to his series.
No, I mean the same. Konami did a lot of things.
Yeah.
But what they did is exactly what they did to Kojima.
Yes. So they Konami'd it, not Kojima'd it.
Well, I mean, if you say Konami, people don't know what you mean.
Can we stop arguing semantics
Nah,
over a made-up
fuck
term
Konami.
that we just made up?
My point is, when you say they Konami'd something, you could mean they made a flippin'
Why
pachinko
are we
machine.
arguing the semantics of this enough?
I prefer the phrase Kojima because it's exactly what happened to Kojima.
I just don't want to blame Kojima. It sounds like you're blaming him.
No,
Enough.
people deserve to know what happened to him.
So yeah, they fight weird little blob things called ceruleans.
So let's just explain it as if everyone's already watched it, because that's the assumption here.
Okay.
Yes.
This show takes place in an abandoned theme park
Zoo.
that is also intended as conservation after some catastrophe.
Kemono Friends is post-apocalypse.
We don't know that.
No, there's like
but
some
it
fucking
is-
Evangelion shit going on here.
It is post something changing the
Fourth
world
Impact.
significantly. And unfortunately, we'll never get the answer to what the outside world is like because the original creator's gone and they decided to soft reboot. But
Seaboot, if you will.
basically, you have this this material called the Sand Star, and if the Sand Star touches anything animal, it creates a friend, which is a humanoid version of that animal.
This
and if
is
it
how we
touches
get the cat girls in real life.
And if it touches anything not alive, it creates a cerulean, which is
Yes.
all we know is that it's attracted to humans and it kills things basically.
Yeah.
it
If it
eats
hits a friend,
sandstone.
it turns them back into an animal.
Which we never
All
see
you
that
really need to
happen.
know is that Cerulean bad, friends good.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because
But I think
I
it's
was
very-
not paying attention for any of their like explanation of the lore. I was just like, eh.
See, okay, that's one of the reasons why I really like this show.
There's
There's a
no
lot
way
of
they
good
do
lore.
exposition and like
There's
how-
good lore.
I love it. There's
I
lore.
did not care about any of the extra lore. I was just
Now,
like,
Kemono Friends has deep
this is a
lore.
kid's show.
You can look into it very deeply because Sandstar is something that's very human in essence. Because it turns things humanoid. However, the ceruleans, which are attracted to humans and take out humanity from things, it's a
It's
lot more
basically like
interesting.
inanimate objects want to become human.
It's a lot more interesting than it has the right to be.
Yes.
So basically, we follow Kaban, which is literally just means bag because she has a backpack.
Yes.
And Serval, exploring this park, Japari Park, which has remnants of its theme park days everywhere.
And they're basically like treated as like old like artifacts of a time long past.
Yeah, and the friends can't read. They don't know any
They don't
language.
know how to read.
And they also apparently don't have opposable thumb.
There's
They
some
don't even
questions
understand
that
they're wearing
we can-
clothes until
Okay, yeah,
they
we'll get
the
into
spa
that.
episode.
We'll get to that.
That made me question a lot of things, and I was not ready to ask those questions.
What we can assume is that all of the friends have human bodies. They are all female.
Mhm.
They do not understand anything human-made at all.
Mhm.
They just don't
Because
get a
they are
definition
animals.
for them.
And also
But
humans are kind of extinct.
It's
So
like if you gave all animals the ability to understand English and like a higher thought process, but kept them as their animals and had no memory of humans.
They do not understand technology. They do not understand the concept of clothes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But they are wearing them.
Yes.
There's a lot of very interesting, almost genres in this show. You get the theme of like rebuilding society, which you get from very early on. Episode 2, you have them rebuilding the bus. You have them making a bridge that was destroyed.
I mean, yeah.
You
I
have
guess.
them helping out at the cafe on the mountaintop.
You have them like inventing cooking again.
Yes.
It's all really interesting to me. That kind of angle they decided to go with it.
I found
But,
a
yeah,
lot of
like-
the actual conflicts in the show kind of uninteresting in my opinion.
Well, I mean, it's a kids show.
yeah, that's
At
basically where I was at. I was like, oh, they gotta build a
It has to be
bridge.
simple.
See,
Oh, they
the
gotta
thing-
build a bridge. Okay, and that's gonna be
the
the
thing-
episode.
You have to understand, I've watched a lot more kids shows than I should have at my age. And one thing I really admire about Kemono Friends is that it never, ever makes the plot of the episode some kind of drama or crisis or something that could be avoided or is petty. It's
It's
never
Yeah.
always just,
petty.
hey, here's a problem, let's solve it.
It
I do
gives you
like that.
lessons. It gives you lessons without throwing them in your face. It never
Yeah.
goes outright and says, "It's a good thing we all decided to work together." No, it never does that.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I love that.
It's always, hey, let's fix something, hey, let's help someone.
I have the least amount of notes on what is it? Episode 6. No, 5. I have the least amount of notes on episode 5, but I think it's my favorite thinking back on it.
The
You have
beaver
these-
one?
Yeah, you have
Oh,
these
no,
two
no. Yeah,
you
the
have the two
beaver,
characters, I believe
Prairie dog
episode.
and beaver.
you have Beaver and Prairie Dog, and they're both good at different things, and Kaban manages to direct them into using their specific traits in productive ways, which is such a good lesson to be teaching kids. It's done incredibly respectfully. Everyone's friends. There's no drama. It's
That's
so
really the
good.
whole thing of the show is just, hey, it's literally like that's the first message of the show, like from episode 1 that Serval tells Kaban is that different friends are good at different things.
Mhm.
Right.
That's what it's all about. It's just everybody using their specific skills in the best, like most productive way possible.
I guarantee you, if you watched a younger kids show, not too young, but like age 6 to 10 age range, if you watched a show aimed at them made today, you could very easily find problematic morals, things that kids
Just
shouldn't be
conflicting with
listening
them.
to.
There's a lot of
things like
kid shows that just conflict with their morals too.
people. I know these are for a little bit younger age range, but people who I watch on like YouTube and stuff who do criticism of these often cite Caillou, Peppa Pig for doing really, really problematic. Like, why are they teaching kids these things? These are like toxic behavior, really, really bad things to be learning. But in my experience watching Kemono Friends, I saw none of that. It's very accepting, very good lessons to be learned here.
Mhm.
This is the pure wholesome stuff.
And I think what makes that so good is that it's still entertaining to watch.
Yeah, there is a plot. There is lore.
There
It's
is-
not.
There is a status quo.
I agree
there
with
is-
you mostly, but I'm not gonna lie. There was a lot of episodes for me where I was just like, get on with it. But I'm watching a kids show, so I get it to an extent. Like,
See,
it can't be the most flashy thing ever.
See, I'm gonna be real with you. I didn't feel that. I felt like the pacing was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, it
There's-
could have been, but it's just like some of the episodes, like conflicts or plots, I was just like, I don't care.
like I enjoyed seeing them figure things out.
I think at every second you get something new to see. You get maybe a new character design, a new
Location.
relationship, a new conflict that they can work on. Something
Also,
to
I do want to
learn.
mention I love the way the show like builds the lore and like hints at things where
Yeah,
they will just where like for example, Lucky Beast will just say a thing like about how the friends used to be animals or like they're getting used to their human bodies.
that's
And-
episode
and
2.
it's just, and you're just like, wait, what? But then they just keep going and pass over it like it's nothing, and it's like, okay, wait, go back. Excuse me. I love
Um,
that.
Oh yeah, no, I love it too.
Like,
I like
There's
how
still
they're
human stuff in
constantly
episode 1.
hitting at later on bits. Like they're talking about the library, all that stuff, and then they actually go there, and it's not like the finale.
No, they mentioned the Professor Owl in like episode 1 or 2.
Yeah, they mention a professor, and you're like, wait, who? And then there's
Um,
the scene in like when we first meet Lucky Beast, where the female voice comes out of Lucky Beast, and
Yeah.
you're like, huh? And then that doesn't come back for a number of episodes.
and they don't even explain it until episode 10.
Yeah,
Which
but
I
there's
was
like
blindsided
stuff
by
like
that.
in episode 1 when they meet Hippo, and Hippo says the rule in Japari Park is you have to fend for yourself. And I'm
Yeah.
like, why is this so threatening? This is some nothing's free in water world type shit.
I think that was partially supposed to be just her character, though.
Yeah, but still, it's just so like, huh? Like, this is a kids show. Why doesn't that sound so like threatening?
Right. Um.
You guys learn anything about animals?
But yeah, no, like, but oh yeah, no. Early on, even in episode 1, you get the idea that okay, this is a zoo because there's rusty maps with pamphlets.
Mm-hmm.
Can we talk about the zookeeper segments?
Dude, it's
Oh,
so
yeah, no,
weird
the
when you
eye
find
catchers
like an
or the
American
eye-
person in the zookeeper segments where they're telling you something in like English.
Yes.
There are, I believe, like 3 English ones.
Yeah.
1 French Canadian.
Yeah, there's one
There's
of
a
his
couple
friends.
others. And if you noticed, on all of them, they cut them off before they were done
Yeah.
talking.
Yes. Because the subtitles were already there.
Oh, I think it's because they didn't understand English, so they didn't actually know when they were done.
They do.
Just
They do
subtitle
the
them.
French one. I forget if they do it for the Japanese.
I know
ones
they
as
did
well.
it for one of the English ones.
Yeah.
They do it for all of them.
It's
Oh,
a
they do it
couple
for all the
times, yeah.
English ones? Yeah.
But also, the thing I want to note about those educational eye catch bits is they definitely look better than the proper show.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like
the
a
model.
looking.
It's just the
I
model.
mean, they
of
are
the
just
one
little like looping gifs, but even so, I think there's just something about the like way they're.
I think it's a
colored or
looping
shaded or
GIF that's
something that looks
in
better.
a real environment, I think, right? Or like a real environment that's put through a Photoshop filter.
Or
Yeah,
something,
something
but it
like
looks
that.
nice. I like those. I like them.
They're neat.
It's well done. It's because they're not moving.
There's one. Now we can get into like smaller stuff if you want. There's one running gag that I really appreciated. It's Serval just getting beat up.
There's an episode where
Yeah.
Serval fucking dies.
In episode 3, Serval climbs a mountain, then has to go back down, and then gets run over by the bus.
Yes, Earl gets hit by the bus
I
in
laughed
that episode.
really- I laughed really
I
hard.
do have a note for that. Yeah, I'm just like, oh my fucking god, Serval just got vehicular manslaughter.
The animation of the bus moving for the first time and her falling over, I replayed it a couple times. I laughed really hard. It's really good.
There's like the beginning of episode 9 where she fucking dies.
Which time is that?
You
mean
she
the-
freezes to death or
big-
whatever.
They pretend that she's freezing to death, but
Yeah.
she's just being
Oh no, I
overdramatic.
loved that gag so much.
That's
where it
one thing I
starts and
like
it's
about the
just,
show.
Serval has died in a blizzard, and then we get back to it, and it's just, oh no, she was just getting kind of cold.
That's one thing I do really
I love that
appreciate.
gag.
I appreciate that the show, because it's Japanese, they don't have the same rules that American shows have. Like, in American kids shows, you are not allowed to joke about killing people. You just aren't. Like, parents
in
would
this
have a
they just-
fit.
I
Yeah.
would say this show is not a good example of typical Japanese children's.
Yeah, definitely not,
Even
but like
so, it's
still, like
that's so like different. Where it's just like, yeah, we do a joke where the character fake dies.
they also have like a fucking hot spring episode, which I guess would be more okay in Japan anyways, but like, yeah.
I mean, public baths are a thing, so
Yeah,
it's not weird.
But
at
they
all.
like make some
Yeah.
jokes about like. Well, first they make jokes about like taking their shirts off, and then they change it to jokes about like, wait, what are shirts? And then it gets weird because it's like they don't understand that they're wearing clothes.
No,
And
I love
it's
that
like-
moment so much. 'cause
It just
Serval-
confused me. I was not prepared to ask these questions about this show. I thought maybe it
Okay,
was just like
No, but I
representations
love that moment
of
so much
animals.
because you get the funny line of Serval just being like, "Wait, these come off?"
Yeah,
It's
I think-
I love that.
I think the greatest part of that scene is that the audience is absolutely going to question that
yeah.
at
It's-
some point.
It's like
Where
they.
it's like they are clearly wearing clothes. Like Hippo is wearing a skin tight bodysuit.
Yes.
It's like up until that point, I was just like, oh, these are like just like anime representations of animals. But
No.
then they're just like, no, they look like this in universe.
Yeah, I think one of the things I really respect about the show is that it doesn't look down on anyone, but specifically the whole subplot of humans being gone and like it's not really in the spotlight. it's not something a kid would be confused about because you can just ignore it. In
Yeah.
fact, for most of the time, Kaban and Serval ignore the video clips from Lucky Beast with Mirai. They just ignore them. They're just kind of like,
Mhm.
oh, I guess that's just a weird thing he does sometimes. Huh?
Yeah, like and even then there's like moments where it's like mentioned that, oh yeah, like the jungle area was constructed, and it's
Yeah.
like, wait, huh?
And I think that's
All the
definitely to
friends
its
call
merit.
Lucky boss, you know?
Yeah. I think that's to its merit that it's the kind of thing where if you want to watch it like Max and just ignore the lore, you can. It's still a good show.
I mean,
Yes.
I get some of it. Like I
I was
understand like
I
all
was
that, but
joking.
it's just like when it got into like the deeper stuff where it's like, why is the MacGuffins do the thing? And I'm like, I don't care.
I was so into it by the end.
Oh no, there were so many moments where I'm just like, okay, there's something going on under the surface I want to know.
I
There's
was
too
like,
many like lines where they briefly hint at something and then
there
ignore
was
it.
a good image. I was reading reviews after I watched it, and there was a good image someone posted with it. I'll post it in our chat. But basically, it's my experience while watching the show. Episode 1.
What the
What
heck
the
is
heck
that?
is that? Episode 2. Episode 3. Yay, fun. Now, friends, 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 friends. It's that was my experience watching this.
Because yeah, I remember that's like a thing people noted a lot. Is like 3 or 4 episodes in is where like the uptick in people actually liking it happened.
Yeah, you can check my anime list ratings per episode, and I'm
Because I
sure
remember seeing that one like once there was like a line graph
At
where
what
it starts
point
out
do the
super
wheels in the
low
bus
and as it
actually go
goes on
round
it
and
just
round?
goes up.
I think episode 2 the wheels turn.
Okay, because I didn't
No,
notice
no,
until episode 8.
most of the time the wheels do move.
I
Yeah, like,
actually did
It
not
only
notice.
looks like they don't move when it's from a distance because you can't see the spokes on the wheel.
Like in the opening,
nuts on
I
the
didn't
bolt on.
notice it until episode 8.
I'm gonna be real with you. The wheels move pretty consistently.
They
Because
don't in the
it's
first
only-
episode, and I just stopped looking.
Yeah. But no,
yeah.
like if you look at it, it's like you can only tell when it's from a distance because you can't see the bolts on the wheel.
It's probably because they knew that
But
animating
otherwise,
that
when
was
it's up
difficult.
close, no, they totally move. The wheels
Um,
on the bus, in fact, do go round and round.
I don't know if you guys watched the episode the whole way through, but
Oh,
for
I was. There were the post-credit scenes where we have Raccoon and Fennec searching for Kaban.
but also I want to mention the next time on scenes.
Oh my god,
I did
love
not
the
get the
Penguin
chance to watch
Idols
those.
so much.
They are.
I think I watched a few of
just-
them.
They
They
are
are a
almost
joy.
out of character. The Penguin Idols the whole way through.
Oh yeah,
They basically are just the voice actresses.
Just
I think I watched a
talking
few of
and
those.
having fun. It's
I
great.
forget a couple, but they like make jokes based
But
on
they'll
the
be
next
like,
episode.
"Oh, did you know that this animal and it's an animal that will appear in the next episode can do this?" And they're like, "Ah!" And they just like start cracking some jokes.
Sometimes they
say,
make
"Next
weird
time,
noises.
da-da-da-da."
They make weird noises, or they like fall over because they're little paper craft things almost.
Yeah.
They're great. I
we
recommend.
wanna talk
Are
about
we
the
not going
penguin?
to talk about how Serval is apparently strong enough to lift the driver's seat of the bus and jump across the bridge?
Serval
without
has
much
super
problem?
strength. Serval
Serval is
literally has super
incredibly
strength, and it's great.
strong.
Serval is muscular cat girl GF.
Yes. In canon.
She's like 8.
You don't know that.
You don't know that.
She's
I
in
just
the
like
flashback.
ruining it. I just like ruining the fun. Don't mind
She
me.
could be like 20. She could be my age.
She's like 2.
And I do love how the OP does the thing where they just fill in the silhouettes as you meet the new friends.
See, I had a really good
And then there's
comment.
like a point where it's like they fill them all out, like after meeting Tsuchinoko or so, and then they add more.
I had a comment. This OP is what Modern Crusaders copied.
Yes, JoJo stole from Kemono Friends.
And I believe the animation in the beginning of the opening also changes.
Does it? I only noticed they changed the.
I
the
didn't
new
get to watch the
silhouette.
opening every time. I was at work.
I'm pretty sure the first opening, it's like really generic, just, the
I
Savannah.
always skipped and then just watched the scene where the silhouettes would get filled
See,
in.
the song is amazing though.
The song is
yes, no,
really
the OP
catchy.
is great. It's so catchy. And it's
Um,
sung by the Penguin Idols. I
Yes.
love learning about that later on.
Are we gonna talk about the penguin?
Do you want to?
I guess we could briefly mention that there was a zoo.
Oh, you mean Grape Coon?
Yes. The
We're
penguin.
gonna talk about Grape Coon.
So basically, Kemono Friends did a collab with actual zoos in Japan.
I would totally go
where
to
they
the zoo
put-
for that.
They put cardboard cutouts of the friends in their exhibit, which is great. I
Their
really
natural
love that they did
habitat.
that.
So the Penguin exhibit got a cutout of Hululu, one of the, I believe she's the Humboldt penguin.
She's the one who does not say anything.
She just says Hululu.
What? That's actually a really good good one for that penguin to go for then, because it's just as accurate. So basically, a penguin at the zoo had its girlfriend stolen from him, and these penguins like mate for life. Like, it's actually kind of really sad that this happened to him. And so he didn't have anywhere else to turn, but he actually just turned to this cardboard cutout of the anime penguin girl, and it's kind of sad, but kind of also happy at the same time.
He fell in love, and then unfortunately Grape Coon died.
He did pass away,
He
unfortunately.
was like remembered as a hero. Everyone was like, "Thank you."
Apparently,
Like, there was tributes. There was art.
apparently
This
another penguin has gone for this thing.
Yes.
Well, no. What happened was afterwards, the zoo was going to take them all down because their collaboration ran out. But then instead, the fan reaction was so strong, they made a new one with both Hululu and Grape Coon,
Oh yeah.
and they put it up. I think it's still there now.
And there's a new penguin who's in love with the cutout. So
Yeah,
Grape
apparently
Coon
that
has been
happened.
cucked in the afterlife.
No.
You didn't have to say that. I wasn't
I'm
gonna bring
sorry.
up. The...
I mean,
But
it's
what
Let it
true.
be
happened?
wholesome, dang it.
I don't think the other penguins stayed around.
But he's with her forever in the afterworld.
Can you go to Afterlife with a anime? You know what? Let's not ask these questions.
I would say
I do like how Crested Ibis just A poses and floats to fly.
yeah.
Like, but no, but that's only when it's from afar. When you zoom in, you do see her little wings on her head do flap.
They
But when she first shows up, she's just A posing.
They
And she
shouldn't have
just
bothered with
descends from the sky. It's
they
incredible.
shouldn't have bothered with birds, in my opinion. I think one little minor issue I have with this is that a lot of the friends designs are clearly sexual.
Are they?
Yes.
I mean, I
think
wasn't
so.
really
Yeah,
paying attention to them
Bo
because
is
they
in
are all
episode 1.
lolies. So like, I didn't really look at it in that way. But I'm not gonna like fight you on that because you could totally be right.
Again, you saw Hippo?
Which one was
Yeah,
Hippo?
Hippo's- Hippo's one.
Oh
there
yeah,
was-
yeah. No, I see what you mean on that.
They did a whole they went through a bunch of them in episode 2 and 3, I think.
Yeah,
They
there's
just
like
bring them
I think
like-
in episode 2 there was just a literal like slideshow of jungle animals.
And some of them were just like, come on, that's not
I'm on the
friendly for
wiki
me.
right now. My problem is it's like all lowly stuff, so when I look at that, I don't look at it for any sexual content because like I don't like that. You know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you think I'm looking at it that way, then you're also
No,
wrong.
I'm not. I'm not saying that's how you're looking at it. It's just that like this, like I've separated entire. Oh my god, I'm on their wiki. There's some that I don't think were in the anime, but there's one called Hellbender, and she's got like a transparent dress. I'll post
That's
this in the
probably
chat.
like a different one.
I mean,
That
you
could be from the app
understand
game or something else.
Here,
I don't
I'll
know.
post it. Yeah, it could be from the app game, but yeah, that's what that looks like.
I don't like it. Bad.
that looks all right.
But
Google
but
the
no,
Hellbender. That's the one. I'm also here's an Indian rhinoceros.
It's a perfectly fine design. You guys are being weird.
That's just
Yeah, the
bikini armor.
Indian rhinoceros.
I'm
She
gonna
just
be
had
real.
bikini
The
armor.
best design, the best friend is clearly from what was it? Episode 6, the one ox girl.
Yes, I knew you were gonna like Aurochs. I
Yes.
knew it.
Aurochs is my favorite friend.
She's
I don't
just
know
a
what my
minotaur,
favorite friend is.
and she has a deep voice, and that's hot.
The ones in episode 6 are very good. I actually really like that episode too.
Yeah, 6.
Because you get this
No, that's yeah,
ridiculous.
6.
You get this
I zoned
ridiculous.
out on
they,
episode 6
they,
so
they
hard.
reinvented war. Max, I feel like you were zoned out for this whole thing.
No, I was zoned out until like episode 8. But like I knew, I
That's
remember
most of the show,
episode
man.
6 is where I did realize like the budget had definitely increased at some point, and that
Oh,
was
yeah.
the war episode. And I did like the chameleon.
Episode 6
Yeah,
is
no, I love Chameleon. She's just a cute ninja.
Episode 6 plays a lot with the animal's strengths, and also I love that the lion has this amazing traditional Japanese home and then built a giant yellow slide in it.
It's so
This giant plastic yellow slide out of this traditional Japanese house. It's so good. They never
But yeah,
mention
we're
it.
like-
They never even use it.
but like yeah, we're skipping some stuff because like there's Tsuchinoko.
Oh, this is a Sukinoko
Make
episode.
the
Yeah.
Metal Gear joke.
Sukinoko. I can't pronounce it. God.
Tsuchinoko. But yeah, and like I think I did notice is Tsuchinoko calls Lucky Beast instead of boss
one of the good
because she's a weirdo and she like knows the history of stuff.
one of the good gags that probably wasn't a gag, but I laughed at anyway, when they introduced the Tsuchinoko and they showed her little name on the screen. Instead of saying species, it just said cryptid.
Yeah, because she.
Hey, that's a good way to
Tsuchinokos
not
aren't
lie to
actual
children.
animals.
And they also did a zookeeper facts for
Where it's a
Tsuchinoko.
dude who's like a Tsuchinoko researcher or something saying, yeah, I believe they exist.
I believe it was a guy who ran a Tsuchinoko museum.
Yes, that was it.
I like the fact that they included it, but they also did make an effort to like go like, hey, this isn't like a real animal.
Oh yeah, no, I love that they included
Like, I want more
Myth
cryptids. I
animal.
want like jackalope.
yeah. Any other episodes we want to discuss?
I like the horror episode.
Yeah, the haunted house,
Episode 10.
Yeah.
the lodge.
I was iffy on it. It was good.
I don't remember the
Fun.
plot of it, but I just like the fact that they managed to do a good horror like idea in a kid's scenario.
They do
Very
a lot
well,
of
she's cute.
genres.
She's a mangaka.
They do a lot of good genre
Yeah.
hopping.
Yes,
Um,
they do a nice, comfy cafe episode. They do a haunted house.
They do an idol.
They do a
Some-
snowboarding
Yeah.
with and hot springs. Yeah, no.
Um,
Again, I want to say I love the Penguin Idols so much.
Oh, I didn't like the episode, but I like the characters.
They're great. I love them.
If you've watched an idol anime, you're just like, oh,
I'm
they're doing
quitting the
this.
band. Okay, guys, I'm not quitting the band. I changed
You
my
get-
mind.
Oh
You
yeah, and
get
there's
the-
something I want to mention is in that episode, there's a friend that is just a friend version of the Crunchyroll mascot in the
Wait,
crowd
what?
at one point.
Really?
Oh, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Hime?
Yeah.
Crunchyroll Hime?
Yes,
That's
because
cool.
Crunchyroll, helped,
Yeah.
in the funding
Fund.
of the show. But I saw
I
that
just-
and I was just like, what the fuck? That's so weird.
I just assumed the crowds would look terrible, so I kind of ignored
No,
them.
one of them is
One
Crunchyroll
thing,
Hime.
one thing I want to mention, one reason why I really disliked, why I had really bad first impression of the first episode when I watched it a while ago now, is because I assumed every episode would have a cerulean enemy.
Yeah,
They
I'm
barely-
glad they did not do that because that would
they
have gotten
barely
old.
used-
Yeah, no, I'm glad it wasn't a Monster of the Week thing.
They barely used the ceruleans, and I am so thankful for it.
Yeah.
The show is wildly improved. Oh yeah, you're right. You just posted a picture of Crunchyroll Hime.
The
Yeah.
Crunchyroll Hime friend who is in episode 8.
I also think the first Cerulean fight is the worst one. Like, it's just kind of like a lame,
Oh, yeah.
regular ass fight.
It's literally just a video game weak point, hit him on the back.
I like the one where they build a sled to just run away.
We all agree the first episode is horrible.
The first
Yeah.
episode is rough.
It's weird
But
how immediately it improves.
Yeah. Like, the episode 2 is still a little rough. Like, you have the literal, like, here's introducing a bunch of new friends, and it's just a slideshow where they talk over still shots of new characters.
But
But
say
episode
episode
2 is
1, I
good.
remember for being bad. Episode 2,
But even then,
3,
no, I'm
I
just
was
saying,
kinda,
there's
like,
just
not
that one
remembering
bit,
that
but then
well.
3 onwards, it's like they're killing it, kicking ass.
by episode 6, I think it it's like confirmed good.
I think episode 2 is great.
It's just a
Episode
kid's
2
show.
immediately introduces the mystery of Lucky Beast. It instantly
Yes.
introduces this really weird rebuilding civilization feel.
They
get some-
mentioned that the place was constructed. You get to the bus the first time. This is the first
You
time we
get-
see the bus.
You get Mirai
Not
talking.
completed. Yes.
It's great.
And then 3, it just keeps going. That's where you get the cafe and you get the battery charged.
3, I hated the freaking bit with the bird that couldn't sing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that
Scarlet
was
Ibis.
grating. I'm not gonna
Yes.
lie. But I liked Alpaca Chan. Whatever her name
Yeah.
was.
Alpaca.
Probably
Just Alpaca.
because that was their
But
naming
no, yeah, I do
convention.
love in the Idols episode where they sing their song first and then they say, "All right, next up," and they just say they're gonna sing the OP.
Yeah.
I love that.
Also, I need to mention episode 5, my favorite. They do first-person Serval Enviro Bear.
That's right. They do have a first-person shot of Serval like crawling through the.
Did you say
Serval-
EnviroBear?
Yes, the game where
Like
you're
the
a bear
game where
and
you play as a.
drive-
Okay, yeah, okay.
They do a first-person point of view shot with Serval trying to drive the bus, and it looks like Enviro Bear.
I need to
Oh, and
rewatch
there's
that.
also.
Oh, wait,
don't
is that
forget
where
there's
she
part
yeets the
in-
car into the worst animation of the show so far, according to my notes?
Episode 5?
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't.
I
think
don't
it was
know.
that bad, but okay.
There's the part where Prairie Dog just straight up kisses Serval and Kaban on
That's
the lips.
literally the next note I have on that.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I'm glad they
Also,
didn't do it
Prairie
again.
Dog somehow gnaws down 100 trees within seconds.
I was fine with that. That was good.
I like the.
What,
no,
you can't-
I love that episode overall. It's so nice and comfy.
It's my favorite. I love it. Oh yeah, Rhino is just in full knight armor.
Yes, and again, Chameleon is a cute little ninja, and I love her. Shoebill doesn't do a lot, but why is she so popular?
I do not know. I
Though
mean, I
then again,
know,
she's
but I
the one
don't
who's
know.
just straight up knows what humans are.
Besides Tsuchinoko, who doesn't tell her, I believe.
Yeah,
There's
but
also
Shoebill's
the
just like,
gamer
"Are you a
Fox.
human?" And that's the first time that's like mentioned.
See, I don't remember what happened, but I just have a note on episode 7 that says Serval yet again gets wasted.
No, she gets freaking fly by,
Oh yeah,
run over by the owls. White owl and eagle owl just fucking run her down for no reason.
For some reason, it's really
Serval gets her ass kicked.
it's really entertaining to me that immediately after learning that the humans might be gone, they go to an idol show.
Yes.
What else are you gonna do?
It's like, man, that's kind of rough. Let's lighten up and go to the idol concert.
Then we get I'm just going through the episodes now. Episode 9, where you find out about clothes and also video games survived.
Red Fox is a gamer, and she would rather game than shower, like a true gamer.
True gamer.
Please take a shower.
Please
take a shower, Melee.
please take a shower.
Episode 10.
Capital
you
G gamer.
Episode 10, you get the horror
Horror.
stuff.
Yep.
You get the reveal that Mirai is from the past.
And my assumption was gonna be that she's Kaban's mom.
Which you were right?
Sort of. Maybe.
Yeah, I guess.
Some sort of ancestor.
It's more like clone, I think.
It's hard to
I don't
tell.
even know.
We don't
and then
get that answer.
Episode 11 starts the plot,
The main big plot.
The two episode arc.
climax, where
She climbs a tree and the texture disappears on it. I found that weird.
Oh.
I don't remember that, but okay.
I paused it to double check, and it's like, yep.
This is not a show known for its money.
I know. I just found that like a really weird animation thing. Like, I feel like that would be, I don't know. I know how animation works. I'm just confused as to how that happened.
Anyway, so the mystery is revealed. It turns out the parks, which we don't know what they were made for, they're inhabited with friends. They were meant to be a fun theme park that humans visit because Lucky Beast are tour guides, basically.
Yes.
But this one, Japari Park in particular, was ravaged by a giant cerulean, which still exists to this day.
The big
And
black guy.
they
Yes.
using
He's a
Kaban's
big
knowledge,
nasty boy. Nasty boy.
using Kaban's knowledge, quick thinking that has been established over the whole show, and also what she's learned
Because
from
humans
Serval.
are the best.
And
That
also
is basically what we learned is humans are the best.
well, no, it's also what she learns from Serval, because Serval's the only reason she's able to pull it off.
Good point, yeah.
And which I thought was an amazing
Like
way.
that is the whole thing is they figure out that what you're good at, come on, is you're smart. You can
I think
plan.
an amazing way to round out the show is showing Kaban climbing the tree,
Yes.
just like Serval did at the very beginning,
She even says nya nya nya.
which was great. I was
Yes.
so excited.
I-
I was hype. It was
Yes.
fun. It's just a really good character arc in general.
Mm-hmm.
I think the melodrama with the fake out deaths, I don't like that. That's another reason why I don't think the show is perfect at all.
Mm-hmm.
I hate fake out deaths in anything, even Persona does it a lot. I don't like that. But anyway, they do this whole complicated plot to finally end this island destroying cerulean. And they do it. And they have a big friend moment where all the friends
we
No,
get
all of the friends appear. The OP is
we
playing.
get opening
and the
playing
fucking
during
title-
final fight.
Yes.
Yeah, OP
That
plays
is a
during
good
the final
trope.
fight. No, and the title appears in the sky,
Yeah.
and it's incredible.
The penguin idols come and they are completely useless.
Yes, but everyone uses their skills that they've learned from Kaban. The cerulean, it's the best. It's literally like the perfect everything comes together finale, and I always like no matter what, I will love that where it's the final episode and you bring everybody back. That always like I always love that.
It's super fun. It makes no sense. It doesn't matter. You just sit
No,
back
no, no.
and you
The
love it.
the thing that like the final like thing that wins the day is Serval uses that makes a paper airplane,
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot that was a thing that happened.
and so not only did Kaban learn from Serval, but Serval learns from Kaban. It's great.
Like I said, really good character arcs, really good character development,
Yes.
which you wouldn't really expect. And even then, it's shown throughout the series. This isn't like a one-time, like, oh, they did a callback to the first episode. No, they're constantly shown talking to each other, learning from their experiences, helping
Mhm.
each other. It's great. It's a great friendship.
Yes.
Kaban becomes an orb briefly.
Yes, and then she's reborn as her normal self because humans' default state is still humans.
Which is
And the
weird.
owls are just like, man, humans are weird.
They have a party, which was kind of not notable, but it's cool.
They're at the actual amusement park and having a good time.
Anyway, at the end, we finally get the big sequel draw. The really unfortunate sequel draw.
Where
Now that
Kaban sets out to go search for humans on her
Kaban
own
has
in
this,
a like makeshift bus boat on
and
the front half of the.
in one of the greatest like I clapped moments, they follow her, and I was like,
Where yes, like
ah.
everybody walks away and it's like, oh damn, that's the end. And then you get like you see Serval and the rest all pile into the back of the bus that they also made a boat out of and follow behind her.
The
And then
real
they bump
Kemono
into each
Friends
other.
is the friends we made along the way.
Yes.
See, you can say that because the title is literally Friends.
Yeah, I know. This is the joke.
They say friends a million times.
I gotta say, I am legit.
No, and then they bump into each other in the water and they meet a third voice that comes out of the water and they're like, oh, what kind of friend are you? And then it ends and then season 2 sucks.
I want ocean friends.
No, I believe they say, what park are you from? Because they mentioned there's other parks.
Yes. Yeah, because there's other islands.
Anyway, I am incredibly sad that this will never get us proper second season.
Yeah.
Because yeah, like I don't know, I haven't heard much of like I know in season 2, like from what I've heard is like apparently at one point Kaban and Serval just part ways and Serval is just gone.
No, okay.
Like
I'll
they
explain to you what I know about season 2. First of all, it's a soft reboot. You get a new, completely different human protagonist.
what?
And she hangs out with Serval and Karakal, and
Okay, I got it backwards. It's they get rid of Kaban.
Serval. No. Let me continue. Jeez.
Okay, sorry.
Serval has no idea who Kaban is, and Kaban shows up as an adult.
What the fuck?
It is a soft reboot that makes no sense in continuity. It also has like $1 million bajillion dollars in animation budget, and it looks amazing, apparently.
So it's like they bring out the budget, but the heart is gone.
I read reviews saying if you don't watch this as a second season, if you watch this as its own thing, it's actually really good. But if you watch it as Kemono Friends 2, it's horrible and bad.
Damn.
And it is getting a third season, which is shorts, and it has a short web series called Welcome to Japari Park, which is airing right now. I think I've seen it on Crunchyroll. I don't know what it is. I think it might be based on the manga or the game or something.
But yeah, that hurts and that shit hurted.
I'm in physical pain that this will never get a continuation. I love this. I love the story of it. I think it's an amazing kids show, an amazing show in general. I'd love to see what they did with a good budget. It's another one of those Konami Kojima situations where you really, really want the what if. You really, really want
just what could have been.
What if they didn't? I don't even know the reasoning for why the publisher canned the director of Kemono Friends. There's no money reason. He probably didn't make any demands that I can think of. It was just an asinine, stupid. It's just it upsets me when artists don't get the avenue to make the things they want. I believe I heard that the director made his own studio and his own anime.
Yeah, I know. Like, yeah, he has.
I believe he
made something
recycled
else.
he recycled some ideas from Kemono Friends, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Do you want to go on ratings?
I would give this a 7.5 out of 10, maybe an 8. Talking about it shows that it's great. There's very little I dislike about this.
Yeah, I would give this a 7 out of 10. I enjoyed it to an extent. I found it a little boring because, like, you know, it's watching a kids show to me. But I think it's a better kids show. It's not one that I would dissuade kids from watching. I think it actually has good messages, especially about learning. We didn't really touch on it, but it seems to really actually encourage curiosity, which I really enjoy out of kids shows. So I give it a 7 out of 10. The animation's not very good, but everything else picks up on it.
Yeah, for me, definitely 7.5. Like, animation starts out rough, but they do, like, eventually find their, like...
They find out what they should and shouldn't do.
Okay, here's our limits of what we can do, and they work within that. But it's such, like, the energy and, like, the feel-good energy of it. And just, like, it's so good, and it has a good actual plot and stuff, and it's just, like, this is so much better than, like, what I was expecting. Like, I was expecting this to suck, and I'm just, like, so happy that this turned out really, like, good. So 7.5 from me.
I would say this is one of the very few shows or pieces of media that I think anyone can watch at any age, any maturity, any tastes. You can watch this and get something out of it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Showdown.
I don't know if you guys are ready for this.
Okay.
What are you about to do?
You will be upset with me. I want to watch the show. This is not me picking garbage. I actively am interested in this. So, you've heard of Magical Girls, right?
Oh,
God.
You know what a Magical Girl show is.
Yeah, we watched Madoka.
Well, this
Sailor Moon.
This is not Magical Girl.
Oh no.
I know what you're gonna do.
This is Magical Boys.
Oh no.
Oh no.
This is Cute High Earth Defense Club Love.
Oh no.
Oh wait, didn't we watch this as a random in club?
We watched this as a random 2 years ago.
Oh no.
Um,
It all comes back around.
I thought this was like a meme show. It turns out there's 3 seasons and an OVA. So apparently
God.
it's a big deal. This is from 2015. You're gonna hate me. I'm sorry. I want to watch it.
All right.
It all comes back around. Our past we cannot escape our past.
All right then.
Okay.
I guess that's the episode. See y'all.
See ya.
Goodbye.